Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to do a full face of Anastasia Beverly Hills. I've always wanted to do a full face of Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now that I do have the majority of the products that can create a full face, sadly I lost the brow pencil that I had, so I just filled in my brows with a different brow pencil. I also don't have a powder blush. I did not have the mascara because it was out of stock, and also I don't have any lipstick or lip gloss from Anastasia Beverly Hills, so I'm just going to skip that and I will use something else. So let's dive right into the video. Hopefully you guys are staying at home, you're okay, you're not bored to death, and there's so much good things that you could actually do while you're at home. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. Everyone hated the packaging, but I absolutely love it. It comes in this glass bottle and it has foundation on the back. I can assure you is that this foundation is amazing. I do have oily skin, but it works great on my oily skin. It lasts throughout the day and it doesn't really separate or cling into my dry patches, and I also love the coverage that it gives. The color that I have is 330W. I actually got it color match because the foundation range is a little bit confusing. Yes, they do have a lot of shades, but sometimes too much shades can get a little bit confusing, and also the undertones of the products are a little bit off from the description, so it's better to get to the physical store that sells ABH and get color match. Gave me a pretty decent coverage, though I kind of want a little bit more coverage. And I'm going to use the same foundation as the concealer because I don't have the concealer pot that they have on their range. For some reason, Mecca don't have it on the website. Maybe they discontinued or they just don't have any in stock. So I'm just gonna use the foundation as a concealer as well, which is pretty good because that means that my base could look pretty chromatic and not too over the top highlighted. I am going to apply the eye primer before I set my whole face because I find that if I set my face before I apply the eye primer kind of cling into that powdered surface. So for that, I am going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. I absolutely love this primer. The only thing and the only reason why I don't use this is because of the packaging. It just squirts so much product. It ends up as a waste. And I don't even have to squeeze the tube. I feel like it's so jam-packed that the product just oozes out of the tube. But I love this eye primer because it makes everything so opaque. And I think I got a little bit too much. And I'm going to blend the edges with the other end of the sponge just to make sure that everything is blended. Personally, I like to set my primers and my foundation because it doesn't matter what type of concealer, eye primer, or foundation I have, I really need to set it, especially around the eye area. I am going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder, and I have the shade Translucent. I love the fact that it's huge and also it's deep enough for you to dunk your sponge in. I don't like the product for travel though because it's obnoxiously huge, but for a makeup kit or for an everyday use, it's absolutely perfect because the pen size or the jar size is huge enough for you to fit any size of brush, any size of sponge, and it acts as a palette as well. And this powder is amazing because it makes your face so smooth. It creates a soft focus filter all over the face, and it mattifies your skin without making it look dehydrated or very cakey. And together with the foundation, it's a good combination. I am then going to move on to the bronzer. So I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder bronzer and I have the shade Saddle. which is a nice neutral shade. It works great for my complexion because it's not too orange, it's not too red tone. It's a perfect in between. It has a little bit of sheen to it, but honestly you can't really tell once you apply it onto the skin. It kind of just melts away and it creates a nice glow. You know how sometimes powder can make you matte flat? This one doesn't smell like anything. And the beauty about Anastasia Beverly Hills is that they are cruelty free. Not all of their products are vegan, some are, but it's good that they have a list of what is vegan and what is not, because it's hard to come by a high-end makeup brand that is full cruelty free and vegan. So here is my skin at the moment. We're going to do a more cool tone look, so I think I'll stop there. And for blush today, I am going to dip into the Soft Glam eyeshadow palette, and I am going to use this shade called Dusty Rose and maybe mix a little bit of orange soda, and we'll see what we come up with. Because I'm going to do a cool tone look, I figured that Dusty Rose would be perfect. And yes, it is perfect. And I'm gonna add a little bit of orange soda just to warm it up a little bit. For highlighter today, you guys know I only own one ABH highlighter, and that is the So Hollywood Loose highlighter. Packaging is amazing. I don't want to open it in camera because it might spill, but this is what it looks like. It's so pretty. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that. A little goes a really long way. And I like to swirl the product in the cap and kind of just place the product first before I blend, so that I don't get one concentration on one area. I like to make it even, so once it is blended, it kind of melts into the skin. One thing to note though, it is a little bit glittery, so just keep that in mind. Like, you're not gonna get the softest highlight with this one. So now I'm going to move on to the eyes. I really wanted to use the Sultry eyeshadow palette again. I probably have used this only on camera but not off camera. The other Anastasia palettes I own, especially the Norvina palettes, I've traveled with that. I've used it a ton. Same goes for the Jackie Aina palette and also the Soft Glam, except for this one. But this is honestly one of the good looking eyeshadow palette. If you really love cool tone eyeshadows, this is for you, because you have that pop of peach right there that you could ultimately make the look a little bit more warm. So I think I am going to go for a little bit of a cool toned eyeshadow look. Start with Slate, which is a gray shade, and probably dust that all over the lid. See what we come up with. It's a nice gray taupey shade, which is very unique. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of a denser brush, and I think I might go with Slate once again, and I wanted to build that up and really pack that on the outer V. So now that I got the base done, I am going to use the same brush and maybe dip into a little bit of Dystopian, which is a brown shade, and kind of go a little bit towards the middle part of the lid. Not so much on the outer V because I want to keep that slate shade. And I'm going to pull that towards the inner part of the eye. And then for lower lash line, I am going to go and use the same shade. for the inner part of the lid right there, I'm so tempted to apply this shade called Cyborg. It's silver, but it has a little bit of flecks of pink to it, and it's not like that typical silver shade. It has a little bit of shift to it. And I'm going to pick up a brush to apply that shade and clean up a little bit, because I want a little bit of a cleaner line. To blend that Cyborg into the shade Slate at the end, I am going to pick up a little bit of Ember, which is that one right there, and I'll just pop a little bit of that. And then I am going to go back to the brush that we used to apply Slate and blend that out. For the inner corner, I'm going to try and pick up this shade called Pearl. And then I'm going to pick up Dystopian, which is that brown shade, and kind of apply that underneath the lower lash line. And since I'm not going to use any false lashes, I'm going to pick up this shade called Noir. It's a black shade, and I'm going to use that to tight line my what's it called, my lashes. And that's it for the eyes. So I'll just quickly apply some mascara. I'm so sad that I could not get my hands on the new ABH mascara because it's sold out everywhere. I think I want to do a little bit more of that peachy shade on my face because we are looking a little bit too like one-dimensional. So I'm going to pick up the shade called Bloom, just a teeny tiny dab, and I'm going to apply that on my cheeks. So it kind of just hold that look together. And unfortunately I don't have any Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick, so I'm just gonna quickly apply my lips with ColourPop BFF lip liner plus the KVD Everlasting lipstick in Bone and Arrow. I was thinking of maybe lightening the lipstick up a little bit, but I feel like I like this look. It's very bold, very vampy. So here you are, the finished makeup look. Maybe we'll add a little bit of like warmth into the lips. So I'm just gonna apply a Carousel matte liquid lipstick in the shade Cha Cha. I added a little bit of gloss just to kind of have a dimension on my lips, but here is my final makeup look. This is not like the most exaggerated cut crease smoky eye. This is typically how I would do my makeup if I want a little bit of sultriness, and also it works great now. I really love cool tone eyeshadow, and I feel like if I were to just choose one eyeshadow palette that has a cool tone shade, this is going to be it. I do love a little bit of warm eyeshadow, but I still gravitate more towards the cool tone taupey type of eyeshadow, which I think works best on my eye color. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I might do an updated full face of Anastasia Beverly Hills if they do come out with another amazing product. But as of now, I just shopped my stash. I just used whatever I had. So yeah, I will catch you on the next one. And please remember to stay safe. And we're all in this together.